Okay, so I think I'm going to end up calling this episode 1 because there's been like a ton of changes. I made all the previous uploads private, took down a bunch of clips, that I had spent hours and hours. I even had like all the clips lined up of the previous show I was going to post throughout either this week or the previous week, and I had to scrap them all by popular request, actually, which is something I'll be honest with you, I'm definitely a bit surprised about. I got a lot of complaints on the fact that people don't enjoy the swearing. So we're going to take the uncensored DJK podcast, kind of turn it into the censored DJK podcast a little bit. I mean, I just like to be me, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I also want a job. This is not ideal for me forever unless this thing decides to blow up out of nowhere, which is never gonna happen. It's kind of more so just, for those of you who have no idea, okay, this is primarily to keep my skills and on-air personality up. It's what I was doing in Virginia. I've done it, for years prior to that. In the meantime of where, I'm not technically on the air right now, I have all the studio equipment at home, so I figured it's a way for me to keep my skills up, just kind of talk about stuff that I would still talk about anyway, stuff that I find interesting, and this is what I like to do. So no swearing from here on out. All the other videos are private. I hope you enjoyed them while you had them because they are no more. Okay, so the first technical topic I guess I want to hit on in the history of the show, even though it's not, but whatever, is ESPN First Take, Undisputed, these fake shows that are I can't almost watch this stuff anymore because I just know you're going to get the same thing every day. There's going to be, here's our question today. And it's, first off, the hosts for both shows, whether it's Molly or Jenny Taft, I'll have to post a clip of it. Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning on Undisputed.
All right, I guess we got to get on with this show.
Today we're going to talk about LeBron James.
A lot to get to today.
It's why? Why are you yelling at me? It's 9:30 in the morning, 6:30 on the West Coast. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? I get it because I know this industry. I know you have to be happy. I know you have to be perky. But what is this obsession with not being able to talk like normal people? Why is it every time I turn on one of these sports shows or whatever, it's that's why I think they do all these group things now where instead of debates they do the round table. I'm an idiot. Where they do the round table because you just have opinions and ideas flowing left and right, and it's oh my god, it's almost like a coherent conversation. It's like we're just reading off a teleprompter or these notes that my researcher got for me last night at 3 a.m. And so that infatuation with this. And I get it. Like I said, I'm a radio guy. I did it. I still do it. I don't know what it is. There's something about turning on a microphone from time to time. When you hit that on button and you slide that pot up, there's something, I don't know why. I think it's just because that's what we grew up on as every broadcaster. That's what, because you look at you watch people in your field and you see what you want to see and you see, oh my God, I like that person. Let me see what they do. 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a TV or a radio voice. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, the industry's trying to change it a little bit, but it's instead of just being with your local weather, they're going to be instead of just being hey, it's going to be 76 and cloudy today. I don't know. They're going to be hey, thanks so much for tuning in to NBC 6 this morning. It's in the smile, their eyes are wide. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to NBC 6 this morning. It's going to be 76 and partly cloudy today. Thank you so much. Let's take a quick word from our sponsor. What? What was all that for? Just talk. Like I said, I get it. I did it. You can go I have so many old demos I made, on-air clips of me, and they're horrible. Of just this whole infatuation with as soon as you press it up, hey, what's going on? It's DJK from Q, or 103, or whatever. Ugh. It's just, I get it because you want to be perky, you want to be happy. So that's what people don't understand, right? Here's the slight problem. And I've always said the hardest part about radio is, and this has happened to me numerous times, you have no idea what somebody has had happen to them before they press that on button and turn up the microphone. I could have just had my girlfriend break up with me. I could have just, I don't know, tripped and fell on the way. Something dumb, but you get the point, horrible things can happen. Nothing as horrible as tripping and walking on the way, and it's a terrible thing. No, but horrible things could happen. Like, say, for example, I just got with this text, right? I'm scrolling. I'm about to be on air in like 30 seconds. My girlfriend, we're in a heated discussion. She breaks up with me or whatever. Now I have to hit that on button, like toast popping out of the toaster. You have to click the on button. The toast pops up. Smile. Hey, guys, what's going on? So you're already being fake. And it's not your fault. It's just you can't convey that energy to people who are driving home. They don't want to hear you be sad. Like they tune on the radio to get home from their crappy day-to-day jobs that they don't want to be at to begin with. And they just want to hear somebody tell them something positive about a survey that like probably was not done properly. or let's talk about another point. Oh, it's wine day for the 3rd time this year. Like, it's just, I get it. But at the same time, I also think this is why so many people go towards like the podcasters now and stuff like that, and that's why that stuff is booming. Just because it's more like, if you look at Rogan, I've said it before and I'll say it again. To me, he's like he's interestingly boring. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Like, he can just like talk like this and just be like, yeah, like what do you think? Like, and yeah, and this guy thinks that, and like, well, when I did this, here's what, and I'm like, if I ever talked like that, if I just like, because I'm not like a mellowy person like that anyway. I'd like to think I'm somewhat high energy. Like, if I just tried to do that, like, people would be like this kid sounds like he's depressed. Like, he sounds horrible. Like, I don't know what it is with him. He has that like ability to be able to do that. Whereas me, I kind of have to be up, you know, like I'm sure, yeah, go ahead and say, oh, you're full of energy, yeah, like you're the most energetic person. Like, save your stupid, like, to be honest with you, if you were to get into an argument with me, I probably wouldn't be good for you. But, oh man, just so we remember, this was about like ESPN First Take. So ESPN First Take, let's do the old multimedia simulation where we pretend that everything I just talked about didn't happen, and now we're gonna go back to ESPN First Take. It's ESPN First Fake. Like, it's so ridiculous. They'll just argue for 7 minutes to 20 minutes straight about how they don't even disagree on something, but they'll be like, oh my god, well, the question was this and the question was that, and you didn't answer the question. Like, just it's so unnecessary. Like, sports is everywhere. Like, there's so much sports stuff that you can talk about. You don't need to talk about LeBron James 35 times. Like, and the reason being is, like, find something that two people genuinely disagree with, and it'll be magic. Like, you don't need to, there's no point in talking about LeBron James 35 times when, like, you think that Mitchell Trubisky and Aaron Donald are, like, the two most underrated players. Like, of course that's not real, but, like, the two most underrated players in the league. Go! Have a real conversation about it, or like genuinely get upset, because what they do is they do the fake upset where they're like, oh, did you just, and it sounds like this, I don't know what Stephen A does. And you can tell, like, when you watch Stephen A, nobody actually listens to Stephen A and thinks that's real. Or like, they can't, like, you can't possibly be sitting on your couch being, wow, he is just infatuated with this debate that he's had 30 million times. Like, nobody actually thinks that, right? Okay, topic number 2. Definitely a conversation starter. Definitely something people ask me about all the time. Tattoos, man. I have a full sleeve, and then I have a chest piece done. And I started this when I was, I think, 19. I had just turned 19 when I had started this. And I finished it by the time I was in my mid-20s. Now I'm actually heading back just to finish up some of this other stuff and touch up some of that stuff. But the majority of questions I ask, okay, do you like them? Do you regret them? Should you have waited? And I will say this, the one thing I'll say about tattoos, I should have waited. And I don't mean that I want to get any of them removed. To be totally clear, I love them. I don't want them removed at all. But what I think I mean by that is I wish I waited until I was more financially stable than just, you know, I was working at like Dunkin' Donuts at the time. Like, I had no business dropping like $800 on each of like the 7 tattoo sessions I went to. Like, it made no sense financially whatsoever. So, I mean, but the ink itself, I wouldn't trade for the world. I just wish I had a little bit more brain power and did it when like I actually had real money coming in. But I'm also not one of those people who are like, oh, my body is a canvas. It's art. Like, stop. Please stop, for the love of God. Don't be one of those people. Just like, get your tattoos, enjoy your life, shut up. Like, nobody really wants to hear the whole, oh my God, like, my body just needs more ink because it's a canvas. Like, do not be one of those people. Okay, so the third topic is something that, and these are all totally random. Like, this podcast is not going to be cohesive. Get used to it. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. That's still where I guess it's a little bit uncensored. I will talk about whatever I want to talk about, whenever I want to talk about, except with swearing. But this was one that, like, I had my water today, whatever, and I noticed, I flipped the water around, and it says there's, like, 4 ingredients in it. It was, like, I actually pulled it up. It was, like, I'll get the actual one so I don't look like an idiot. Magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, salt, alongside purified water. Okay, why on earth is the ingredients not just H2O? Like, what in the like, magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, and salt. Now, this is an article from Time about, like, I don't know what on earth. Like, apparently if you strip those things and you just have the straight up H2O, it's taste terrible. Now, well, they actually said in this that, like, people who've tried both, like, people who think that, like, normal drinking water is tasteless, like, would not be able to drink just straight up H2O. I guess it's, like, totally different. And they said that, like, they put all that stuff in there. It's not a health risk at all. At least that's what they say. It's not a health risk at all. It's just to literally make it taste better, which is still the weirdest thing in the world. Because when I looked at it, I was like, what on earth is, like, especially, like, it just looks like chemicals. Like, magnesium, sulfate, you could be like chlorine. Like, you don't know what the heck, it's just surprised the hell out of me. Last thing I want to address on the show today is the neighbor number challenge. And this is an unpopular opinion because what on earth? Like, this is just do people not have anything better to do? Like, I can't think to take 5 minutes. I don't even want to think about it. I would never do this. I would never just sit, I'm sitting down enjoying, whether I'm like a cigar, whatever. Like, I would never just go, let me text my number neighbor and say, howdy, number neighbor. Let's see how things are going. Like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Who on earth, like, is so bored and has nothing to do that that's what they decide to do in their free time and go, I'll just kill 20 minutes talking to this random person who, A, is either not going to reply, they're going to be freaked out, or you get, like, the 2% of people like, oh my God, number neighbor. Oh, Jesus. Don't be that person either. Just, if somebody texts you and they're your number neighbor, like, that is I hate to break it to you, I'd be the person to block my number neighbor. It's the dumbest challenge on planet Earth. But that is today's show. As you can tell, it's boring. And the reason it's boring is because I can't be me. No, it's not that I can't be me. I just have to tone things down a little bit. Because I got to get a job. I get a job back on the air. So once that happens, we'll see what happens from there. But for now, this is kind of same kind of topics. These are all topics I was going to actually hit on regardless because I prep all my shows ahead of time in terms of, like, what I'm going to talk about. But no swearing, stuff like that. So we will be back, I guess, for episode 2, kind of, sort of, not really, next week.